Game week 1 is now over and done with, and whether you started well or not, let me guess, you're fed up with the likes of Wirtz, Palmer, Watkins, João Pedro in your team already. Well, if you are, let's have a look at 5 players that you should be looking to buy if you're selling these guys. Okay, now the first player isn't exactly a surprising one. He's one of the most bought players already since Game Week 1 has finished, and it's Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. Now, I did mention him as part of my content as a differential to look at pre-Game Week 1. If you took the advice, then well done. If not, then you can still jump on him now. Obviously, I think a lot of people were probably put off of him because of that Game Week 1 fixture against Liverpool. Obviously, it's one of the more tough fixtures. It's Liverpool away as well, so really was a tough fixture. However, he is fantastic, Semenyo. He has so many shots. I mean, we know this from last year. A lot of his shots aren't the best quality, don't get me wrong. They're not always high quality shots, but he has a lot of them. And if you have that many shots, you will score goals. As we saw in Game Week 1, he scored 2 goals. He had 3 shots, 2 on target, 2 shots in the box, an XG of 0.91, which is pretty high for one game, and he had 2 big chances. Now, as I mentioned, last season, he had a lot of shots. Only Salah and Palmer took more shots than him last year. So, the odds are just always going to be in your favour if you have that many shots. I mean, in terms of fixtures, you can see down there, Wolves at home, Tottenham away, Brighton away, Newcastle at home, Leeds away. The fixtures are really nice for the next 6 to 8 game weeks. So I do think that Bournemouth players in general were going a bit overlooked just because of that Game Week 1 fixture. I think if you are looking to move on a midfielder, whoever that midfielder may be, whether it's a Marmoush, who didn't start obviously, or it's a Palmer, which I probably wouldn't move on, or a Wirtz, again, I probably wouldn't move him on. But if you're fed up already, then I get it, that's fair enough. Antoine Semenyo is definitely a player that I'd be looking at. He has gone up in price already, but he is still fantastic value at 7.1 million. The second player we're going to look at here is, again, not a surprising one by any stretch. Reijnders. Now, a lot of people had a decision whether to start with him or Anderson at the 5.5 million midfielder range. Turns out there was no wrong answer in any of that. They both started really well. Reijnders had potentially one of the best Premier League debuts that I've seen. He was absolutely incredible. For the first goal, which he didn't even get a goal or an assist for, he was unbelievable. He took the ball on, he took it past a couple players, played a lovely dinked ball over to Rico Lewis, who then put it on a plate for Haaland. The football was incredible. He just looked right at home in that Man City team. Now, he was playing as kind of an 8/10, I guess. I mean, it was Nico Gonzalez at the number 6, Bernardo Silva and Reijnders as the other 2 midfielders, and Reijnders was probably playing the higher of the 2, given that he was sometimes up there with Haaland. So I'm not sure that that's a position that he's going to play long term. He'll probably play as an 8 with someone like Shirky in the 10. Either way, that's completely fine. As long as he's not playing in the 6, which I don't think he'll play there too often, especially now Rodri is going to be fit quite soon. I highly doubt he'll play in that 6 role much. So, I mean, the numbers were pretty good as well. 3 shots, 1 shot on target, 2 shots in the box. The XG and XA numbers weren't the best, but he was heavily involved in everything that Man City did in that game. And as long as he gets the minutes going forward, he will be a fantastic option for RFPL teams. And to be honest, even if you haven't already got him in your team, you don't need to rush to get him, because it's not like he's a bargain at 5.5 million, but at 6 he's expensive. He'll be a bargain even if he goes up to 6 million. So you don't need to rush to get him, especially given the fixtures aren't incredible. It's Tottenham, Brighton, Man United, then Arsenal. From game week 6 onwards, however, the fixtures are really good, so that could be a nice time to jump on him. Now, I mentioned him a minute ago when we were talking about Reijnders. The next player we're going to look at is Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. Now, like I say, a lot of people had the decision between him or Reijnders. On Saturday, people were thinking that they got that decision wrong if they went for Anderson over Reijnders, but after watching him play against Brentford, you didn't get that decision wrong, I can tell you that now. the decision, or the answer to the decision, was probably to have both, because they both look unbelievable. He had a fantastic game. Him and Morgan Gibbs-White absolutely dominated the midfield and just dominated the whole game, to be honest. They were both fantastic. Now, Anderson could have walked away with more points here. He didn't get any defensive contribution points, mainly because Nottingham Forest just absolutely dominated Brentford. Brentford actually barely had the ball, so there wasn't really much of a chance for him to get defensive contribution points. Not only that, but he could have scored a goal as well. He did miss a big chance. He did get an assist. He had 3 shots, one of which was on target, 2 shots in the box. His XG and XA numbers weren't actually bad at all. And he was also on quite a lot of set pieces. I think he was on all set pieces, all the corners, and a couple of the free kicks that were in dangerous areas as well. Crossing dangerous areas, I mean. The fixtures are still really nice as well. Crystal Palace away, West Ham at home, Arsenal away is not great, but then Burnley, then Sunderland. So this next stretch of fixtures is absolutely fantastic for him and Forest. The only thing that would put me off a little bit, and this is the reason that I went for Reijnders in my team instead of Anderson, is that Forest look like they're buying some centre midfielders. Douglas Luiz looks like he might come in, and given that Forest have Europe as well to deal with soon, I'm just not 100% sure that Elliot Anderson is going to be nailed for minutes, but you'd think he'd play most of these Premier League games anyway, so he is an absolutely fantastic player to buy at 5.5 million. Okay, so the last 3 players were players that all were in the points in game week 1, so they're all going to be popular regardless. Now we're going to look at 2 players who didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist, got no attacking returns, but looked really promising in game week 1. Now the first one is Strand Larsen of Wolves. And again, as I mentioned, he didn't score, he didn't get an assist. He obviously played Man City in game week 1, so kind of weren't expecting much from him then. But he looked really good, I thought. I thought Wolves in general actually looked really good. Defensively, not so much. I mean, City did run over them a little bit. But going forward on the break, you could see that they were kind of targeting Keanu Hoover on the right wing back, and he was getting quite a lot of joy, to be honest. I mean, Ait Nouri did deal with him quite well, but you can see how that tactic can work pretty well. The likes of Munetsi, Bellegarde, Andre, like a lot of them did have quite a lot of success in that game, and Strand Larsen did find himself with a couple of chances. You can see here, 4 shots, 2 shots on target, 4 shots in the box, none of them generating loads of XG, but you can see that Wolves are kind of set up and geared up to get chances to Strand Larsen, and he will score goals. We know that. In the Premier League last season, he scored 14 goals, and he did actually fare pretty well without Cunha in the team, so I don't think it's a huge miss that Cunha's now gone. I just think that for 6.5 million, he could also be on penalties. We're not too sure about that yet. Don't get me wrong, Wolves didn't get any penalties last season, so that is something that could change this year. Who knows? But regardless, I just think he was getting in good positions. He was getting good chances, and against lesser opposition, I think we'll only see more of that. So if you are selling someone like, maybe you're selling a Danny Welbeck who didn't start, then for 6.5 million, I think Strand Larsen is great value. Okay, and lastly, we're looking at another forward here. Another forward who didn't score in game week 1, but still I think can be a really good option going forward. So we're looking at Evanilson from Bournemouth now. When I talked about Semenyo, I mentioned how a lot of people will have been put off of Bournemouth players because of that game week 1 fixture. That is now obviously over, and their fixtures look pretty nice. Wolves at home, Tottenham away, Brighton away, Newcastle at home, Leeds away. It's a pretty good run for 6 or 8 game weeks, as I mentioned. Now, his numbers, again, were okay in game week 1, considering it was Liverpool away. He had 3 shots, 3 of them in the box, none on target, but a little bit of XG, no big chances or anything like that. But you can see that he is the main striker. We kind of knew that anyway. Without Cliver on the pitch, he is probably on penalties, and Cliver found himself not ready yet. He hasn't played any pre-season minutes, so it could take a few weeks for Cliver to even come in. So for the next few weeks, Evanilson could be on penalties. He's obviously going to be, along with Semenyo, the main goal threat for Bournemouth. So again, I think if you're looking to sell one of your forwards, whether that be Watkins to generate some money from the forward line to put it into the midfield, or a Danny Welbeck and you've got funds to get up to Evanilson, then I just think he is a very good option over the next couple of weeks and could go under the radar a little bit, especially given Semenyo will be really popular. That is all for this one. They are the 5 players that I would be looking to buy if you're in the market for a midfielder or a forward this week. If you like the video, do hit like, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.